Hello and welcome to episode number 20 of AEW Rise to the Top, where we're playing as Tony Khan, trying to get AEW to the biggest wrestling company in the world. Today we're back again with another episode of Dark and another episode of Dynamite, and let's just go straight into Dark. Let's just not even mess around, let's just do it. Okay, so we're starting off with Jamie Hayter and Bea Priestley taking on Shanna and Sadie Gibbs, and it is Hayter and Priestley who pick up the win in 11 minutes 54 seconds after Hayter pinned Shanna with a curb stomp. This got a 21 rating, which is pretty bad, but that's okay. We knew it was going to be bad. Bea Priestley had a 30, Jamie Hayter had a 33, Sadie Gibbs had a 26, Shanna had a 23. They didn't like seeing anyone. They liked seeing Sadie Gibbs, but no one else. And apparently Jamie Hayter and Bea Priestley don't work well as a team, even though they are a team in Stardom. So we won't be doing that again. Terrible way to start the show. The crowd were turned off, but working the crowd brought them back to our side a little bit, which is good. Everything. That wasn't a very good start, but let's move on to the next segment, which is only ever slightly better. Kathy Kelly is interviewing the Bunny backstage. Last week, Chris Statlander seemed to suggest she has a problem with you. Do you have anything you want to say in response? And the Bunny says, I just want to say, Chris, watch out. You don't want to piss off the Bunny. The segment got a 35 rating. Kathy Kelly was poor when trying to improvise, which is annoying. I need to just script her every time. I just keep forgetting. It's really... There needs to be something to remind you who's good at going without a script and who needs to be scripted, because I can never remember and I just don't script anyone. But anyway, let's move on to the next matchup, which is slightly better, which is the Hybrid 2 taking on Suge D, or Pineapple Pete, and Max Stardom, and it is the Hybrid 2 who pick up the win in just over 11 minutes when Angelico pinned Max Stardom with a Superman senton, and Jack Evans was head and shoulders above everyone else in terms of in-ring performance. There we go, that's the word. Jack Evans had a 53, Angelico had a 41, Stardom had a 31, and Suge D had a 34. If you can hear some scratching, it's just a tortoise is wandering around on the floor. It's okay. The segment got a 41 rating, and a pretty vocal crowd didn't seem thrilled seeing Pineapple Pete, but that's fine. And pretty average ratings there. Not a great match, but let's move on to the next segment, which is only slightly better. The Rascals rush the ring and start attacking TH2. They get a few shots in, but TH2 managed to gain the upper hand and escape through the crowd. So the tortoise has now been moved onto carpet, so you won't hear him scratching around. The Hybrid Rascal storyline has advanced and gained heat, which is good. Desmond Xavier was good, which is nice. Lots of penalties, not very... But this is Dark. This is just meant to build them up so when they go to Dynamite, they're not getting we don't like this person penalties, which is good. Segment was a 46, which is okay. But now let's move on to the main event of Dark, which is Jasper Cowan taking on Austin Gunn. And it is Jasper Cowan who picks up the victory in 14 minutes and 40 seconds by pinfall. Segment got a 50 rating, which is quite nice. Jasper had a 51 rating and Austin Gunn had a 44, and the newbie storyline has advanced with this segment, and Billy Gunn did some good work at ringside. I forgot that he was going to be there, but that's good. Loads of penalties though. Austin Gunn, loads of penalties, which isn't very good. But anyway, let's move on to the final segment of the show, which is Jasper Cowan grabs a mic. Christian, you think you're a big man, do you? Commanding me to fight? I fight when I want to, and Cass, I want to fight you next. So the newbie storyline has advanced with this segment, a 46 rated one. So last week, Christian Casanova basically said, you're bragging about being undefeated, you've won one match, you've only had one match. Fight someone impressive, and I'll see what happens from there. And this week he beat Austin Gunn, who, not long ago was challenging for the TNT Championship on Dynamite. So a pretty big win for him, and now he's saying, you don't tell me when to fight, I tell you when to fight, buddy, and I want to fight now. So let's finish up the show and see how we got on. 37, this is kind of like the average, the normal score for Dark at the moment, but that's alright. Like I said, this is just mainly used to get people ready for when they go up to Dynamite, so Dynamite can hopefully in the future be a better show. But that's it for Dark, and I'll be back in a few minutes or a few seconds with AEW Dynamite. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to AEW Dynamite. Last week, our show rating, only a 62, was really disappointing. We had loads of good promos, but the matches really let us down. Hopefully this week we can get back up to what we're used to getting. Back into the high 70s would be beautiful. We got two big matches. We've got the AEW Tag Team Championships between the Broken Bad Boys and FTR, and Kenny Omega is in action taking on Matt Cardona. So let's just jump straight into Dynamite. And we are kicking off tonight with Orange Cassidy taking on Kip Sabian, and it is Orange Cassidy who picks up the win in 12 minutes 51 by pinfall with a super kick. The segment got a 67 rating. Strong start, which is better than last week's. Orange Cassidy had a 67, Kip Sabian had a 47. Only a couple penalties, not too bad. But yeah, I'm trying to do more with Orange Cassidy specifically because he's so good in real life. You know, I should probably use him a bit more, but that's okay. You know, these things happen. We'll get around to it. Let's move on to the next segment, and we have the Elite come down to the ring with a chorus of boos. Boos as in like cheering and booing, not boos as in alcoholic beverages. You got that anyway. Context means that's very easy to understand. Anyway, Cody says, "I get it. You've all seen what happened last week. You know what we did, but please hear us out. Find out why we did it. When we started AEW, we wanted to be the beacon, the shining light of what to aspire to be in professional wrestling. Then Matt and Nick here lost in the first round of the tag team tournament. We thought, okay, a minor setback, nothing to worry about. Then I lost to Jericho for the AEW World Championship, meaning I could never challenge for that belt again. Upsetting, but I got past it. Then finally, I won the TNT Championship, and I tried to be a good champ. I came out here and put it on the line each and every week, not for me, but for all of you. Then Spears cheated to beat me, and what happened? Nothing. No consequences. I realized that to be the best, you have to play dirty. Death Triangle were good. They've already beaten us once, and I was damn sure not going to let them do it again." Dun, dun, dun. There we go. He's explained why they did it, why he hit Rey Fenix with that car at All Out. Segment got a 70, which is really nice. Cody was great. Cody was superb without a script. Nick Jackson wanted a script, but that's alright. The Death Triangle and the Trio storyline both advanced. Any penalties? Low morale for Matt Jackson and improvised badly for Nick Jackson. Maybe I should have done it so that only Cody was getting rated on that. Maybe that probably would have boosted it up a little bit, but oh well. That's something to note for next time. But let's move on to the next matchup, where we have Kenny Omega taking on Matt Cardona, and it is Kenny Omega who picks up the victory in 18 minutes and 3 seconds with a one-winged angel. The second one got a 76, which is great. Kenny Omega getting a performance of 84, and Matt Cardona getting a 50, and the World Championship storyline advanced and gained heat. Again, people still don't like seeing Matt Cardona, which again probably doesn't help by the fact that he keeps losing. But oh well. And also Jon Moxley was at ringside for this match. Any penalties? Just Matt Cardona being not that great, really. Excuse me. Segment got a... Right. I'm sorry. It got a penalty for the low heat. It's got like a 70 heat at the moment. That's good. What's it talking about? This game confuses me sometimes. Anyway, after that victory, let's move on and see what happens next. We have the Four Horsemen come down to the ring. Spears is in his gear, and he has a microphone, as does MJF. Spears raises the mic to his mouth, but is cut off by MJF. Yeah, I get it. Max, you lost again. Max, you can't win the big one. Please, the only reason I'm not currently your world champion is because AEW stacks the deck against us. Management are scared of what could happen if the Four Horsemen hold all the gold, but trust me, it won't be long. Now all of you sit down, shut up, and get ready to see our glorious leader in action. So that got a 62 rating. The TNT Championship storyline advanced and gained heat, which is good. The performance of MJF was good. MJF was superb without a script, as always. And Sean Spears foreshadowed a face turn. Ooh. I'm learning from the last episode not to just do them all randomly or without building up to them. I'm trying to play the game how you're supposed to. Just penalties again for low morale and the low heat of the storyline, which makes sense because, like I said last time, this story has been Sean Spears' TNT Championship run has been pretty terrible, to be honest. Not being at my finest work. These things happen, and let's move on to the next segment, where we do have Sean Spears in action against Marco Stunt. MJF defeated him last week, and Sean Spears manages to pick up the victory against Marco this week in 13 and a half minutes with a perfect 10. And the segment rating got a 64. Sean Spears had a performance of 52. Marco Stunt had a 58. He's really good. The TNT Championship storyline advanced. And Sean Spears again hinted at a face turn. How exciting. And penalised for stamina. And penalised for low morale. But we do have a very hot crowd, which is good to know. That's 2 thumbs up for what's coming later. Hopefully. But let's move on to the next segment of the show, and we have Dr. Britt Baker coming down to the ring with a microphone. Last week, the waiting room was so popular that management asked me to come and do it live tonight. This week, our topic is mentality. Now, as someone who has had to balance medical school and wrestling training, I know something about mentality. The key is to just know you're the best. I mean, it's pretty simple. Just know that whatever you try, you will succeed, because for every one Dr. Britt Baker, there's about 50 of you. Thank you for all joining me tonight on The Waiting Room. See you next week. So I got a 58 rating. Dr. Britt Baker coming back, doing another episode of The Waiting Room. The Women's Championship storyline advanced. And she did a masterful job improvising, which is good. And I didn't get the too short one, which is good this time. Fingers crossed. We didn't get nothing interesting happened either, so that's good. Let's move on to the next segment where we have... I knew this one was coming. Big Swole taking on a now signed Aria Blake. So it says that she's debuting her underdog gimmick, even though this is like the 4th time we've used her in the past 3 weeks. But yeah, 23 rating, just a quick victory for Big Swole, newly heel turned Big Swole. She had a performance of 34. Aria Blake had a 29. The crowd didn't want to see her, which makes sense, and they were turned off. And the match brought the crowd down a little bit. So pretty decent. She doesn't have anything. Doesn't make any changes. So let's move on to the next segment of the show, where after the bell rings, Toni Storm hits the ring and takes down Big Swole. She picks her up, hits a Storm Zero, but then Dark Order members start to come out from the back to the top of the ramp. So she hops the barricade and exits through the crowd. So the Dark Order Growth storyline advanced, and this got a 45 rating. Very nice there. Very nice little continuing the Big Swole Toni Storm rivalry that's been going on. Toni Storm still got Paul gimmick, which is just going to plague us forever because I tried messing around with it. Well, I just shouldn't have bloody done it, should I? Let's be honest. Nice little 45 rated segment there. Very nice. Now let's move on to the next segment where we have the Dark Order, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson staying out at the ring for their match next up, where they take on the other 2 members of Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Obviously, we saw Marco Stunt in action earlier. It is the Dark Order who pick up the victory when Evil Uno pinned Jungle Boy with a reverse pile driver. This segment got a 56 rating, which is a pretty nice little middle of the show match. Stu Grayson had a 58, Evil Uno had a 49, Luchasaurus had a 40, and Jungle Boy had a 46. That has improved a lot since they were getting low 30s, so that is really good for those 2. The Dark Order Growth storyline has advanced and gained heat, which is beautiful. And let's just see what the penalties for inexperience, and inconsistency. Stu Grayson just being a bloody top-notch lad, getting that 58, not having any penalties against him. Pretty decent show. So the Dark Order seem to be on winning ways. We've had a Big Swole pick up a victory. We saw Mr. Brody Lee pick up a victory last week. Now Evil Uno and Stu Grayson picking up a victory. The only thing left is for Alex Reynolds and John Silver to get a victory, but I don't think that's really going to happen anytime soon, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, so the Dark Order finally looking to be the prophesized unbeatable group that they were touted to be, but let's see how long that lasts for. So let's move on to the next segment of the show, where we have Darby Allin coming down to the ring. Chris Jericho, you think you're pretty funny, don't you? I get it, man. You've been at this a long time. You think you've seen everything, but trust me, Chris, you haven't seen anyone like me before. I want to prove that to you next week. Judas starts to echo throughout the arena. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on there, Skeletor. You don't come out here and demand a match with me. I am Le Champion. You want to go one-on-one with the GOAT? You got to go through my circle first. Then the Inner Circle come and stand alongside Jericho. So the Inner Circle storyline advanced and gained heat, which is good. The 74 rating is beautiful. I'm sort of, getting the hang of the promos a little bit more. The matches are still kind of iffy, but the promos are starting to come together pretty nicely. Jericho looked good. Darby Allin was doing great stuff. And the only penalty was just due to the storyline's low heat, which got boosted up. So hopefully that won't be an issue next time. But let's move on to the next segment, where we have a video playing showing Hangman Page in the gym. A graphic then comes up showing that he will be back in action next week. Hangman Page obviously been out of action since the episode after All Out, where Kenny Omega threw him off the stage and put him on the shelf for a couple of weeks, but he's back, he's healthy, he's ready to get back in the ring, and he will be here on Dynamite next week. But with that, we now move on to the main event of this evening. FTR versus the Broken Bad Boys for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. So, in a match that had good heat and decent wrestling, lasting 14 minutes and 47 seconds, still your tag team champions FTR making the first defense of said championship after Cash Wheeler pinned Joey Janela with a Goodnight Express. Matt Hardy and Joey Janela both getting a 51 rating. Cash Wheeler getting a 74 and Dax Harwood getting a 69 is really good. The tag title storyline advanced and gained heat, which is beautiful. This got a 67 rating, which is again pretty decent. FTR have excellent chemistry because of course they do. It's FTR. Quite a lot of penalties though. Matt Hardy, Joey Janela, Dax Harwood getting poor gimmick. Get out of here. That still pissed me off that they literally have the same gimmick and one of them was really good and one of them was really bad. Like, makes no sense. Anyway, there we have it. Still your World Tag Team Champions, FTR, 2 members of the Four Horsemen. Quite a decent show, in my opinion. Hopefully better than last week. Last week obviously was the 62. Fingers crossed this will be better. Let's finish the show and see how we got on. 71. That's much more like it. That's much better. It increased our popularity in 31 regions, which is great. That Kenny Omega match is so good. I cannot wait for Kenny Omega versus John Moxley. That's just gonna... yeah, I'm excited. Like, if we didn't have the Big Swole match, it might have bolstered it a little bit. But again, like, we've got stories going. We need to use them. It's just annoying that this game penalised, or this mod even penalised all the women's wrestlers so heavily at the start. But yeah, we just have to work around that. So yeah, a decent show, 71, not the best, but much, much better than the last episode. So let's go back to the home screen. Let's see how we got on. Let's see if we beat NXT. And let's check the emails and all that good stuff. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we are back on this screen. So we got a 71 with a 2.25 TV rating, which is pretty good. And let's see how NXT got on. They got a 75 and a 2.61 TV rating. So yeah, we lost again, but that's okay. Oh, Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. That is a good main event. 86 rated. Damn. That's very good. Good for them. And let's see Ring of Honor getting like an 81 again. Yeah, there we go. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? All Japan had a 45. Again, I don't know much about All Japan. Let's have a look at the articles that are here. NXT, Kalisto has been injured. He's got a grade 3 quadricep strain. He'll be out for a few months. Velvet Sky is retiring. Cool. Ring of Honor again. Why are they just signing everyone? And Jasper Cowan has been injured, which we can see here in the emails, which isn't good. I'm going to go and have a look at how long his injury is in 2 seconds, so I will show you that now. Oh, 5 days. Nothing. He's even working through it. What a big guy. What a legend. But yeah. With that, I'm going to end the episode here. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. And yeah, I hope that you had fun. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend, and I will see you for the next episode very soon. Goodbye.